And Shaq wasted no time introducing himself to the fans in Phoenix.
Won't go. O'Neal going to save it. Watch out. Oh! He goes flying into the stands.
Shaquille O'Neal, a.k.a. Shaq, is one of the biggest personalities to have ever come out of the NBA. But aside from dominating the league for many years with many different teams, he's also made a name for himself in how he spends and invests his money. As such, he's very wealthy and thus has many items that are very costly in the numbers department. Join me as I reveal to you 10 things Shaq owns that cost more than your life. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel.
Just a reminder about our new giveaway. We're giving away the new iPad Pro or the new iMac Pro. The choice is yours. All you have to do is watch the full video, leave a like, comment the keyword hidden in the video, and make sure you're subscribed. It's that simple.
Number 9 is business and sponsorships. Do you remember when I said in the intro that Shaq is honestly really good at about how he handles his money? Well, I meant it. While he made an impressive amount of money as a player, Shaq knew that it wouldn't last forever, and as such, he made sure that he used his popularity to go and be a sponsor or owner of various businesses and products. Some people have said that Shaq will endorse anything that will pay him money, but he's much smarter than that. In an interview, he notes that he won't endorse anything that he himself doesn't feel is a good product. He wants his endorsements to truly mean something, and thus he'll only be part of products or lines that truly have good stuff. Like Icy Hot, which honestly does help people with muscle problems, something Shaq knows all about.
Big enough for back pain, strong enough for Shaq pain.
Time to pound back.
The new Icy Hot back patch.
He's also an owner in Five Guys Burgers and Fries, which has over 155 stores that are just under Shaq's umbrella. It's impressive. Add that to his cameos on various commercials, magazines, and other business ventures, and Shaq has honestly made more money as a businessman than he did in the NBA in some ways, which is stunning when you think about it.
What? Put your hands in the air. And wave them like you just don't care. Say ho! Say ho!
He may have been known for being a big man in the game, but he also has a very big brain.
I want to be something more than Shaq. See, the Shaq guy is going to fade away because you got Steph Curry and all these guys stepping up. The Shaq guy will fade away at some point in time. But Dr. Shaquille O'Neal will be around forever and ever and ever.
3 Mercedes for his family. Granted, that big brain of his needed some time to grow once he entered the NBA because, much like many young stars, he had a lot of money and didn't know what to do with it. But he would learn fast after a certain set of purchases whittled away a bit of the deal. Here's what happened. In his early years, he got signed to an endorsement deal with a trading card company. Very standard stuff. His cut of the deal, $1 million, which was a lot then and now. He decided to celebrate by getting himself a $150,000 Mercedes-Benz. He took it home to his dad, who said, "That's nice, where's mine?" So Shaq went and bought his dad one. Then his mom saw the cars and asked for one and a different model for her. So Shaq spent another $100,000 on a third car so his family could all be driving Mercedes. The problem? Shaq didn't realize that between his manager, agent cut, state tax, and a couple other things, he wasn't getting the full $1 million. So he basically blew through everything he earned in that deal with 3 purchases. After doing this all in one day, he realized his mistake and got himself a business manager so that he could prevent such a thing from happening again, as well as putting him on the path to being a good businessman and not just a money spender. Number 7, gasoline. I know what you're thinking. Wait, owns gas that is more than our lives? Well, technically yes, as we'll detail later on. Shaq loves cars. He owns many and is happy to show them off. But another caveat of this is that he's constantly traveling. Whether for work or for fun, he's always driving, and that means paying for gas. According to him, he spends about $23,000 on gas a month, which is $276,000 a year. Think about that. Think about how much you spend on gas in a single month, and then compare it to Shaq. Yeah, it does not compare. Granted, some of this is because of the style of vehicles he gets, which no doubt aren't fuel efficient because of the size, but still, if a regular person was spending that much on gas in a month, let alone a year, we'd be calling them out as saying they're doing something very wrong. Number 6, Google. Okay, no, Shaq does not own Google, but he did invest in it during the early days. He was at a hotel in Vegas when he was interacting with some kids that were nearby, and their father came up to him and noted how good he was with the kids.
Get 2 of these.
Mira, los dos tienen una computadora igual que esta.
He knew Shaq was rich, so he got an investment opportunity. That opportunity to invest in Google.
He said, in the future, you're going to be able to type on your phone, search engine this, do this, boom, boom, boom. You should invest.
Yes, that Google. The guy pitched him on the very real future that was coming and that phones would become search engines and more, and that he would be wise to invest. Now, it's a bit tricky to say how much he invested in Google, but knowing Shaq and the fact that he had both money and a business manager, it's fair to say that he would have invested more than most. By his own admission, a few years later, he got a big return on his investment, which he wouldn't have said if it was only a few $1,000s in return,
So I invested, and then a couple years later, I got a really big return.
See, you just play with kids sometimes, and it pays off.
I know, right?
You never know whose parents it.
Pretty much all of us would have loved to invest in Google back then. His shoes, number 5. While most would agree that being Shaq is pretty awesome, it's also fair to say that being Shaq is a bit hard in the physical sense. The man is over 7 feet tall, and that means he has to buy clothes that fit him so he can just go ahead and be Shaq. That's not easy or cheap, especially when it comes to his shoes. Shaq's feet are massive, and thus he has to have custom shoes made for him, or have shoes from a brand that truly makes them in his size.
Oh. Boy, let me get some of these.
Thus, Shaq buys from only 3 brands. One is Reebok, one is from his own brand, and the other is Tom's. When he struck a deal with them, he bought 22 pairs of shoes from them just to show how serious he was about it. That's not something you just do unless you're Shaq. And while it's fair to say that he's not like certain other athletes that just buy shoes for showing off, it's fair to say he spent a pretty penny on his footwear.
Wow.
Number 4, Mansion Collection. Here's another thing that shouldn't be too surprising, given his fame, his popularity in the world at large, and the fact that he's traveling all over the country and the world. It's not surprising that he has a large set of mansions that he can call home. For example, he had a $28 million mansion in Orlando, Florida, which NBA fans will recognize as the first place that Shaq was in the NBA. But while the mansion was sprawling, he put it up for sale in 2018. Guess he didn't need it anymore.
This is where it all happens. This is where we should have started the tour.
His other mansions that he lives in are just as luxurious and numerous, which at this point is what you would expect from Shaq as a whole. He's known for having his houses have major pools, theater systems, indoor courts, and more. Number 3, Bentleys. Heading back to the cars, Shaq really does love his rides. And some say that one of his car garages is worth more in total value thanks to the cars than your house, as well as being bigger than your house. He's had a lot of big purchases over the years, but one funny story involves a Bentley. You see, he went to a Bentley store, but he didn't do it in a suit and tie and such. Rather, he went in there in flip-flops because he's Shaq, so why not? Anyway, one of the attendants saw this and clearly didn't recognize him and thus asked if he could afford anything that was in the store. Shaq's reply, he bought 3 Bentleys right then and there, costing him $1 million. And that guy was made to look like an idiot who will never forget Shaq's name. Number 2, car collection. We could break down for you every car that Shaq has owned, but it would get superfluous after a while. Needless to say, he has cars along the lines of Bentleys, Mercedes, Rolls-Royces, and many other high-end brands. But what makes this particular car collection superior isn't just the name brands, but that they're heavily customized.
Whoa!
Ooh, come on. Whose house did you come to?
That's right, Shaq won't and sometimes can't do anything basic. After all, his large frame needs to fit and be comfortable in the ride. So at times, he spends tens of thousands of dollars in order to make sure that the rides can fit him.
Shh, it's like I'm in a hot tub right now. Not with you, by my... Matter of fact, get out my hot tub. That tear. That's your sweat. This is awesome, bro.
Job well done.
A great example was a Ford truck that he got. He had to spend $60,000 to outfit it in a way that would fit him. Thus, that one truck cost over $120,000 when all was said and done. Imagine what it would add up to if you brought in all his rides. And number 1, his name. We know, how can Shaq's name be more than my life? But think about what the word Shaq means. It's not just a name, it's a brand. As stated earlier, Shaq attaches his name to items that he feels have value and brings joy to people. So when you hear that Shaq wants to talk with you about a partnership, you drop everything and you go talk with Shaq.
When I do business, it's never about the monetary aspect. It's about changing people's lives.
His name is synonymous with fun, money, power, and more. He's worth over $400 million because he has put his name to good use. Does your name mean that much? We didn't think so. So, what did you think? What did you think of these items that Shaq has that is worth more than your life? Were you surprised by some of the things that Shaq owns? Which of these items do you think you would want to own? And do you know something else that Shaq owns that should be on this list? Let us know in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you right here next time on the channel.
Just a reminder about our new giveaway. We're giving away the new iPad Pro or the new iMac Pro. The choice is yours. All you have to do is watch the full video, leave a like, comment the keyword hidden in the video, and make sure you're subscribed. It's that simple.